Imagine that you're taking medications to reduce your blood cholesterol, but you're putting cholesterol back into your system by eating the wrong foods. In this video, I shared 4 worst foods anyone who has high cholesterol can ever eat. And if you follow the recommendations I made in this video, I assure you in a matter of 4 to 6 weeks, you will see great reduction in your cholesterol numbers. The last food group I mentioned in this video is one you definitely want to know because a lot of persons do not realize its effect on their blood cholesterol. Having high cholesterol places you at risk of heart failure or a stroke. If you have too much cholesterol in your body, with time the cholesterol are transported to your arteries and there they form what is called plaques and then they are deposited in the walls of your arteries. If this continues and nothing is done, the arteries begin to harden and reduces blood flow to your heart and other organs. Let me mention that you actually need cholesterol in your body for a number of functions, but as much as we need it, we do not need the LDL cholesterol or the bad cholesterol in excess amount. To begin with, where does the cholesterol in your blood come from? Basically from your diet. Now, 20% of the cholesterol in your blood comes from cholesterol in your foods. So foods like eggs, shellfish, meat, and dairy products contain cholesterol, and these foods provide about 20% of the cholesterol in your blood. While 80% of the cholesterol in your blood is made in the liver, please do not be fooled. The liver makes 80% of this cholesterol from excess fat and sugars from your diet. Do you now see that you need to get your diet under control if you must reduce your cholesterol numbers? Having said that background, let us now look at the 4 worst food types that you should avoid if you have high cholesterol. First is dietary cholesterol. So as mentioned earlier, certain foods contain cholesterol in its natural form, but some foods contain quite high amount of cholesterol. To understand this, the recommendation is that we limit our dietary cholesterol to about 300 milligram per day. And if you already have high cholesterol, you should limit this to about 200 milligram, no more than 200 milligram in a day. So the foods I will mention now contain more than 150 milligram of cholesterol per serving. So they are quite high in cholesterol. So we have organ meat or offals, that is liver, intestine, tongue, kidney. We have shrimps and finally egg yolk. The second food type is saturated fats. So one of the raw materials your liver uses to make cholesterol is from saturated fats. Many of the foods we eat contain saturated fats in high amounts. Now, the recommendation is to limit saturated fat to about 6% of your total energy intake in a day. So, what this means is that if your daily calorie intake is about 2,000 calories, which is the average for an adult man, then you should not consume more than 13 grams of saturated fat in a day. So, if a food contains more than 5 grams of saturated fat in 100 grams, they are classed as high in saturated fat. So the following foods I will mention are high in saturated fats. We have processed meat like steak, salami, cheddar cheese. Yes, just 1 ounce of salami contains 6 grams of saturated fat. Butter is another food with just 1 tablespoon containing 7 grams of saturated fat. We have bacon, sour cream. They are also high in saturated fat. At this point, if you're still here, it means you are getting value from this video. Can I ask you for a favor? Please subscribe to my channel if you're new here. I would also appreciate it if you can like this video and share it to someone else who might need it. So let's move on. The third food type is the one that is double trouble for your cholesterol, and they are foods containing trans fat. So, trans fat increases your bad cholesterol levels and also decreases your good cholesterol levels. That is your HDL cholesterol. So, the recommendation is to consume less than 1% of trans fat in your diet. But this is a polite way of saying do not eat trans fat. But here is the tricky thing. Food laws usually allow a product to be labeled as no trans fat or zero trans fat if it has zero point 0.5 gram or less of trans fat. So most of the foods labeled as no trans fat may contain up to 0.5 gram of trans fat and they would continue to build up for you. Now, here are foods that are high in trans fats. We have margarine, ice cream, fried and fast foods such as pastries, biscuits, french fries, onion rings. Note that even a small amount of trans fats can have a negative effect on your cholesterol levels. So, your best bet is to limit your intake of ultra processed foods, which usually contains trans fat. Finally, the fourth food type is added sugars. When you consume sugars in excess, they are converted to triglycerides. So your liver uses triglycerides to make cholesterol through a number of processes. First, they are broken down into fatty acids through lipolysis. Secondly, the fatty acids are then esterified to cholesterol. This was proved by a number of studies that showed that when people's sugar intake increased, their LDL cholesterol also goes up as well, while their HDL cholesterol levels go down. So the sugar we're talking about here is the sugar from refined fructose or sucrose in foods and not sugar from starchy foods and whole grains. And in this list, we have candy, cakes, cookies, biscuits, and other pastries, fizzy drinks, sodas, alcoholic beverages. Again, please read your food labels to identify foods with added sugars. So, these are the four worst foods you can eat if you have high cholesterol. If you want to know what foods can help you lower your blood cholesterol, please watch this video on best superfoods to lower high cholesterol. I will see you in another video. Thank you.